What up, though? So, welcome to episode 1 of Life on the Ridge Uncut. You know, I'm your host, Eric.
What's the deal?
Also known as Thareelcoachcarter. I got my brother with me.
Man, Johnny Detroit Therapy. What's the deal, y'all?
You know, and this one, we want to just establish a real rapport with y'all, you know, and kick it more so on the uncut version, man.
Everything gotta be super professional. Yeah, you feel me? You gotta have a little real talk sometimes to these boys. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the only language some of them gonna be able to understand anyway. So you gotta come kick it with you. So, episode 1, we want to talk about the state of the culture from entertainment, sports.
A lot of shit has been happening.
Exactly.
There's a lot of shit has been happening, man. But real talk, one thing we wanted to do was Life on the Ridge, you know what I'm saying, is that's that professional side. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? The counselors in us, the professional speaking. It's still honest, it's still true. But Uncut, man, you know what I'm saying? Some of our clients, man, they from the block, they from there's the streets, there's the culture.
Ain't nobody one way all the time.
Ain't nobody one way all the time, you feel me? So, hey, man, I'm on Finkel and Coil every day, so if you think I'm sitting here talking like I'm from a book all day, you know what I'm saying? But we wanted to show you can be multiple things, you know what I'm saying? So
no doubt.
We still standing true on, we not going to be up here just saying whatever we want. You know what I'm saying? I still believe there need to be a license on podcast equipment because these fools up here just be saying whatever they want.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not even about being uncut, not even about being messy, but it's just
being
still
more
addressing
real, raw, and addressing certain things that, you know what I'm saying? You feel
certain
me?
things that we see. Shit, I mean, we can't help but do that. Like, it's a lot of information out here now, and you know.
There's a lot of shit that's been going on. One thing, but I will say with the Uncut, this is not gonna be we're gonna be up in here talking about man versus woman and all that shit. So if you think that's
he gonna double down on that,
I'm doubling down. I'm so tired of 50-50. I'm so tired of hearing black men get up bashing black women. I'm so tired of seeing black women bashing black men. And my problem, and we said it in one of the Life on the Ridge episodes. My problem with that is all that does is keep us apart. And then the shit that these people are saying, like half of them not married, half of them don't have successful relationships. And then it's just, you know what I'm saying? Let's all the way be funky with it too. And this is the difference with us. Bro, we got jobs. I don't need internet fame. If we can get monetized to pay, pay the expenses of the show, then bet. But at the end of the day, you know, guys are trying to become famous. They're trying to make money from this, which I'm not against that. But when that's your sole driver, that's when you're going to get up here and have a camera and you say some bullshit. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Or you say something that harms the community. Yeah,
you gonna get whatever you ask for, honestly. So
I just want things to, and I'm doubling down on that. Uncut don't mean that we gonna be having relationship conversations and we gonna be up in here saying having a black woman up here talking to her any type of way or doing it. I think what it's called red pill talk.
Man, look,
this internet shit. They call it red pill talk. I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Again, look, since we going on the pill talk and you know, we go string that into the lustful nature of the culture and how it affected community, bro. Like I just wanted to speak on that because we watching these trials, whether it be our R. Kelly trial, whether it be a Diddy trial.
This boy Diddy is tripping, bro.
Yeah, we see a lot of these things and wonder, like, how did we get here from a culture to
the Shannon Sharp situation?
The Shannon Sharp situation of just the lustful nature of man or woman. I can't even just put that down on men. That's
a human thing. Man.
That's a human thing.
That's human, and you know, and ain't nobody trying to say what you're supposed to be doing, because that's what people get on these mics too and tell people what they're supposed to be doing. But I guess what my point is, it's like,
so let me ask you a question.
Go crazy.
So where do you have? Is it an origin of where the type of behavior started, or
I believe childhood. Okay. I believe environment. I think I mean,
and the use of drugs, you know, like when you throw drugs in the mix.
You're taking ketamine and all that type of shit, you know, you be freaked out too. But I think environment. I think I also think that the black community, I'm not saying that we all moving like far, don't take what I'm saying with that, but I do think there's some things that we do in our community that encourage certain behaviors or sweep it under the rug. And to, you know, first, okay, the trial of Diddy. Let's and no, I'm not getting into what everybody else is talking about. I'm more about the behaviors. You know what I'm saying? And everybody is, you know, talking about is he going to prison, what he did to Cassie. And first, let me say, man, I don't stand, you know, wrong is wrong. Wrong is wrong is wrong is wrong.
Especially when we talk about issues with black people, it's like you putting down a black man, and it's like, for me, it don't matter who put in this situation. It's about, like you said, it's about right is right and wrong is wrong.
But let's really, one part that I want to talk about is this conversation of the attack on the black man. Because that's where you see some stuff. You know, I be on, you know, I'm on TikTok. Follow me on TikTok. I'll be on there. Johnny Detroit there. And Life on the Ridge podcast is on TikTok too. Make sure you follow us.
And at Thareelcoachcarter, man.
Yeah,
you know.
We on all platforms, but I like TikTok. It's growing on me. But what I'm meaning by that is just like the things that people are saying, and it's so divisive and it's not on point with, in my opinion, you know, they're now saying the black man is under attack, and you're hearing these tropes because you got Tory Lanez situation, like all these.
We could take it to DDG situation too.
You got DDG situation too,
just with custody of children and you know fatherhood.
You got some serious situations that's involving black men and black women into it, and you know, my more point about that is this shit, because I'm not getting into that. You know what I don't like. I hate that 50-50
No, but you gotta holler at, you gotta speak on what it is though. But what you feel.
For the brothers to get up and say that the black man is under attack, bro, we've been under attack since the 1800s. We've been under attack since they stepped off the shores on Africa. So, but the problem that I have with it is, they're directing it as if black women are doing it. Then black women are saying black man is doing it. And they got it so well where we're pointing fingers at each other. And the piece why I have issue with that is when you get into relationships and you dealing with vulnerable stuff, you know what I'm saying? Love is involved. That's already, emotions is already. Half the time, I don't listen to neither what y'all both got to say, because y'all both in a relationship and y'all both got some shit going on. Yep. Now, I'm not excusing, you know, we know there's those other sides of conversations. I'm going to let those other podcasts hit on that. But I just believe, like with the DDG situation, you're talking about a young couple that clearly did not work out, and there's a custody issue going on. Bruh, custody battles are the ugliest thing that you can go through. You know, especially if people that been divorced, people that have been, you know, when kids get involved, you're talking about your child. Yeah, it's sensitive, it's vulnerable, and you got two. First, how old is he? He's like 23.
He about 28.
She's not that old.
She's not that. I don't know how old she is, but I know Daryl. He's roughly about Michigan. Yeah, he went to Central Michigan at the time when we was there. So he's about our age. He about 2 years younger.
Yeah, but she is not, and she's not that. I don't think she's that much older. But more and more, my point, even with him being 28, man, there's no manual what to do when it come down to, hey, we're deciding that we didn't work out, and now we're gonna split the child's time between us two. There's no manual before that. There's no.
And what killed me is the one size fit all narrative that just because this is the situation that this is supposed to fit just like this. And you know, I love to live by the term, it's circumstantial. Everybody's situation
is different.
Everybody's situation is not in the public eye. But you know what I'm saying? Their situation is in the public eye, and you have to deal with conflated emotions of people you don't even know.
You don't even know these people.
and opinions that you ain't even asked for.
You feel me? And when you get into, but also as a therapist, this is where I add my therapeutic a touch to it. That's why I keep saying, when you're dealing with relationships, you're dealing with people's vulnerabilities in very sensitive spots. You know what I'm saying? You don't know these people. You don't know what is going on in between the day-to-day of the relationship. And once you insert yourself, half the time people are doing nothing but projecting what they've been through onto their situation.
And it ain't got nothing to do with that situation.
Ain't got nothing to do with nothing. But then they're making comments and everybody is reading. Now you got a whirlwind of everybody pointing fingers to each other. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like,
and that's the dangerous part, like you say, of the social media where we spoke
that's by
on.
design.
And it's like you don't even know which comments are actually even real. It can be comments on there that incites certain feelings and emotions based off the situation you looking at, and you don't even know if it's actually a person.
Let's talk about real quick. So certain these pages, because
I read the comments, I'm intrigued by seeing how people react to certain things. It lets you see
what the culture is telling you.
Yeah, and it's like you say, it gives you an insight on the mindset.
Too, Spiritual World, the Shade Room. There's some other page, I think, Welcome to the Culture. Yeah. These big time pages. What I learned, one thing about Spiritual World, that's not even ran by Americans. That page is not ran by Americans. So it's not ran by someone of our, I think it's a Nigerian ran or African led content page. But the piece why there's issue with what I have with that is, you know that they always put out the negative to incite the emotion. And incite engagement. Because at the end of the
rage,
day, it's either rage or they're going to give you something that's really going to make you cry or something.
Oh, yeah.
It's they'll let the positive slide.
Positive don't get enough traction.
But it don't get enough traction.
It ain't enough.
But it's by design, bro, because if we don't stay connected together, they know shit with it. No families means there's no connection.
Yeah.
No connection means there's no, and you know what I'm about. I'm about that black wealth too. There ain't no black. Okay. Black wealth helps a lot. It's a lot faster to get to that. There's two incomes in the house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or even one where she may be taking care of you, want to be traditional, but at the end of the day, kids are seeing a healthy relationship or things of that nature. So to one piece, you got the Shannon Sharp situation. You got this Diddy situation. Like first with Shannon Sharp. And that's what kind of sparked me to have the lust conversation. Bro, my biggest issue that I got with Shannon is...
Speak on the lust before you even get to Shannon. Let's speak on the lust first, though.
First, lust, especially for... I'm a believer of people, is just, is dangerous. But I can only speak for myself as a man.
No doubt.
As a man, that's dangerous to be lustful. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I say that is because lust connects to your desires.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And if your lust can overpower your decision making, your rational thinking, get you in these type of situations that are like, let's talk about it like on some Detroit. Boy, you ain't got no L's and you crossing 8 Mile to get to that. Mm-hmm. You ain't got no L's. There's no insurance on the car.
Power of the P.
The car is busted too. So let's talk about it. Police, you get on 8 Mile, they judge certain cars and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But it's the middle of the night and you trying to get something and you've been drinking.
Yeah.
And you got to get to it so badly that you even know, dang, man, she over in Novi. He willing to risk it.
For the biscuit.
But that's lust, bro.
And
that's lust. And you're willing to make a poor decision to...
It's almost as detrimental.
Families have been broken because of that.
It's almost as detrimental as drugs, honestly, because it's almost...
It's your desires, but you know how I feel about that desire piece. Those desires, it directs behaviors. If your desire to lust, and there's nothing, and we talk about it all the time, there's nothing wrong with sex. It's it's your relationship to it. Yeah. If you willing to go, man, you going all out doing all types of crazy stuff
to risk your freedom,
risk your freedom. Mm-hmm. You own papers. You're not supposed to be driving, But because she messaged you, say, yeah, come over, you so hellbound to want to get it that you put in yourself. That's the decision make that we're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So
how dangerous it is and knowing how to control it as a man. But when you throw status and you throw money,
that's my problem.
And you throw all of these things into the loop.
Responsibility.
You throw all of those things into the loop. Now it's more likely to get overlooked.
That's my problem.
You know what I'm saying?
With the Shannon Sharpe situation, I'm not going to judge, and we are all flawed. You know, shout out to Nib. I'm just another flawed human trying to get this thing right. But what my problem is for black men, I feel like we have a responsibility to every endeavor that we do. Mm-hmm. We should be doing it at an excellent rate. So if you work at the supervisor at the factory, doggone, you better be the best damn supervisor walking around that mug. Mm-hmm. If you the president, be the best, whatever we fall into line. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, I'm not trying to put Sharpe as because he's Shannon Sharpe, he's supposed to, but what I'm more saying is, bruh, you know our image and our representation matters. Mm-hmm. And when you make a decision, like, bro, that girl was what? You know, like, and then you got people talking about your situation. Then it opens the doors for them to judge you. Then, unfortunately, for black men and us, the whole race gets involved.
Yeah, you know, that whole situation is, you know, when you look at how we come up, if you ever play sports, you know, it was considered a badge of honor to knock down as many women as you could because you the man. And these are, you know, that start from an early age. It shows. I mean, and you know, it ain't nothing that for a lot of us that come from these communities, that, like you said, that's almost a rites of passage. Yeah. So how but it don't make it right. I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong.
I'm not saying you are. But
it's just more so of the situation where it's like, who have we seen that who's upstanding that haven't failed to that?
Honestly,
who have we seen that who can come and teach us how to control that cheat and pour it back into a situation? Or, you know, some people never learn that lesson. Man. And, you know, as men, I fully firmly believe what you just said is like we have to uphold ourselves to a different standard, not playing victim to nobody else or thinking about nobody else, but hold ourselves to a standard to exceed certain realities that we live, because obviously this how we live and it ain't working no more.
Man, and then I guess like as a professional therapist, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. There is a trope that, you know, the black man can't keep it in his pants. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That we you know, we fraternize or we do certain things, and for me, especially in my profession, one of the most irritating things that get on, like, a lot of people might look at me and be like, he be no, but I'm dead ass serious. I don't like when therapists or professionals lay with clients. Oh yeah, that's non-negotiable. It's not right. It's against ethics. It's against everything that, in my opinion, stand for. But also, it perpetuates black man can't keep it in his pants. Mm-hmm. You're in a position of power, and because I don't give a damn she cold or not. Yeah, it don't matter. But also, I'm gonna be honest. It might be because I've been doing it for a long time. But bro, that's like going to a mental institution and trying to pick something up. Yeah. That's mind blowing to me on the conversation, and you know, that's how like you say that's how strong of lust it hits certain people, because, you know, I've been in jail this X amount of times and I haven't seen no women and I just can't control my urge. But that's almost like coping skills and learning how to control your damn emotions. You know what I'm saying?
I look at it no differently.
It really is the same thing. I can have the thought, it might run through my mind, I might think, but I'm not about to
act on the situation and put myself in a worse situation to be homeless or in jail because of it. How many families been destroyed because
someone failed to lust?
Man, look.
You know what I'm saying? Made the decision to do something like that. So I guess the status, one thing culturally that what I'm noticing is, you know, celebrities and people man, them guys are nothing but human beings too, man. They just so happen to got a camera in their face.
And like I said, if you throw millions, and it's getting to, obviously, like I said, it stems from younger ages, and the younger these guys are. If you just look at, if you're an athlete now in college, and now we got NIL where I can get millions of dollars, and I can pull up in a I can be on campus and pull up in a Urus, a lamb truck, and you know, and I'm the man, and can't nobody tell me nothing. You know, you got to look at the repercussions of how that can affect psyche. And I'm on Instagram. Everybody like this. Everybody like people. We don't understand the connection between lust and actual true love. People that actually care for you. You know, we can't tell the difference now. It's getting blurred. I'm gonna say the lines are very blurred now to see the who actually is rocking with you because of you and not the material that you possess.
And what I say too is, and you kind of hit on a little bit too, that we are gonna have to have, you know, I understand having fun and I understand being young. Okay, so I'm not trying to be the fun police, what guys supposed to do. I'm not, but we are gonna have to have a conversation with it, and I plan on doing that with my sons, where it's like.
Can I hit on one more point before you start? And it's really coming down to understanding what sexual relations truly are. You know, we love we put it on for sport now. It's like we do it for sport and not understanding the ramifications of how spiritual and you know that situation is between you and somebody else. So like I said, we play with that as if it's just it don't mean nothing.
What I learned is and man, listen, this is a grown man. I'm a grown man, so this is a healed perspective, right? So I'm not sitting here saying that I've always had this perspective, but what I learned was casual sex is not that's not a thing. Too, and what I learned was soul ties.
Yeah.
And you're laying up with somebody, you're taking on their traumas, their mental spaces, the way they look at the world, and there's a connection. If you have yourself spread all across, you know, and I think that's where the conversation comes into play that I want to be able to, you know, with my sons, especially as they get older, is, you know, I'm not trying to be the fun police. But you have to be careful when who you lay up with, you have to be careful with that.
Yeah.
You know, when children get involved in all of that, it can be fun, but now you got you a kid.
And now it's weaponized against you.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's the main thing that I think we're dealing with, where things are so sexually weaponized now, where it's like, you know,
it's in everybody's face.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Now it's everywhere. You can't escape it because everybody got a phone in their hand and it's on every commercial. It's just for the taking now. And learning how to navigate that space and be comfortable with developing intimacy with young women as a young man is the art that we have to establish again. You know, we got to get back to that point where you got to be comfortable around women. First and foremost, learn women and understand it. So fun does not have to associate with you destroying yourself or somebody else in the making. Like fun can be just having a conversation with somebody, kicking it with somebody, really laughing and getting to know this person. And we don't have an interest in want to get to know nobody. We just want to slash and dash. And I'm like John said, I'm not saying this from the perspective as if I haven't had my own trials and run into it with lust, because that's what the experience I'm speaking from is like. I've been in college. I've been fraternity demand and this or that, and I understand. When you get to the top, you realize that's really the bottom.
And you just got to be careful.
What they call the top.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I have all of the things that I truly already need. And the people that actually love me around me. So it's like you get to put yourself in these situations and realize these people don't got your back like you think they do.
That's the piece about it, and that's where you have to be careful with the lust. The lust blinds you into dealing with someone that really don't have your best interests at part, and now you're in yourself in a situation. Hence,
that you might not the Shannon, the Diddy, we can keep going down the line.
You know, like in my piece with like that Diddy, this whole Diddy thing. I'm gonna be honest, I kind of had to like check out of that, bro, because it was just so. Like,
I'm gonna play the opposite side of it. I'm happy that it's actually certain things are being put to the forefront, because now you can use these moments as teachable lessons for the young kids who coming up, and you be like, look at this. You see what I'm saying? You thought you wanted to be, and not to say all people who are going into these industries are in certain situations like that. I don't want to insinuate that, but what I'm saying is you have to when you understand that you going to be in certain industries that come with money, power, this, that, and the thing. These are some of the things that maybe you might get yourself put into if you struggle with that lust bug. If you want to put yourself, you want to be in a situation and you give your body up to somebody and not, you know what I'm saying?
Just,
not you,
but it's just, you know.
It's just a learning lesson is how I look at it.
And what I learned though, like when it comes down to that sex piece, that soul ties, you know, when I learned about soul ties, that's where I, you know, and you got multiple people and all of this stuff going on. So it's just like, dog, I feel what you're saying. I'm not even saying you're wrong. I just, for me, it's just like, it is, you know, and then I'm seeing some of the comments too. It's like the attack of the black man and all of this stuff. And it's just like, I just need my community to be a little bit more aware of the business behind these posts and what the motive is behind it. Mm-hmm. It's for the likes, it's for the shares, it's for the engagement, whether it's rage bait, whether it's to get you to cry, whether it's get you to, and you got abuse, you got sex, you got celebrity. Mm-hmm. It's the perfect concoction for just distracting people and having them watch things. So and
let's get to the point where we taking all people off pedestals. Like we ain't putting nobody on pedestals because we got to understand that
just hit on some shit.
We got to understand like these are still people. No matter how much you might idolize or like the creations or creative abilities that they have or they possess, these are still
I think people. The age of celebrity is dying.
And I'm happy because of it, because it's really an unnatural concept where we looking at somebody and want to be in every sit. Like, you can't please everybody in them situations. I
really think the age of the celebrity is dying. I think
it's already dead. It's already happening right in front of our eyes. I think it's
right in front of our eyes. Mm-hmm. I think we're on the catalyst. Just like, and let me explain a little bit further. Like, I grew up in the time frame, like I grew up magazines, you know, I grew up where they had them cover pages, NBA Slam, the rap, all that stuff.
It was a phenomenon.
Mm-hmm. And then going into the blogger era where there was hot new hip hop, all the blogs and all that.
And before you get there, I want to even just attest to, I come from a family who obviously everybody loved Michael Jackson. Mm-hmm. And we talk about the mystique of the celebrity where it's like he put his hand out, people passing out, and like,
bro, you know people died when he stood up there. Did you know that?
Motown.
I learned that the other day.
Was it Motown 25?
No,
when he broke out
when the Super Bowl, when he did and he stood there.
No, but I know what you're talking about.
Man, I didn't know people.
But I'm talking
died.
about that issue. Like, it's just stories that I get where it's like people don't understand how famous.
No, he was yeah, people
certain people were where it's like he step out, people are crying because they can't watch Motown 25 to see him do the moonwalk for the first time, or all of those things. Now we see everybody, or as far as celebrity, is so accessible now. We see them basically on a daily basis on Instagram or all of these platforms where it's like it gives you, like, it shows you that I am human.
I think
we couldn't even really know. We couldn't even really get to know Mike on no level.
But we couldn't even hear his real voice. But back then, I'm gonna be 100 with you. You know, it's probably with social media, having too much access to them, you're able to see how dumb they is or the stuff that they go running. I done seen, bro, I can't even defend Meek Mill no more.
Man, look.
Bro, Meek done said some shit on Twitter so many times. I'm like, I'm a Meek Mill fan. But he gets up there and says some of the dumbest shit. It's like, bro, like, I'm listening to you rap, and you just put this dumbass statement.
Everybody outside of the booth don't got a certain level of whatever that I feel like they need to have. It's just
everybody don't need a platform, bro. Everybody don't need a place where they be able to say some shit. But it's just like, I guess for me, with this celebrity is dying, you're in a space where, you know, it's just like everybody is creating their own brands, and you got podcasts and people are able to get their voice out more. And I think I think that impacted where, man, I'm gonna be 100. My son, my 9-year-old son, watches Mr. Beast. Like, and that guy is online. That's like an online platform. Like, now when you think of Mr. Beast, is like, but back then that was YouTube.
Yeah.
Him doing the silly pranks and all of that stuff. My son watches that faithfully. You know, with these streamers and all this stuff coming out now, you know. It's just
I feel like it's a golden age,
rush.
a golden age right now within media, and like
Nick
you say,
called that back in mailbox money, man.
Yep.
It's a gold rush.
Yeah, and like you say, a lot of people won't know what they're looking at when they're looking at it, essentially. So it's a platform for everybody to succeed. It's enough motion for everybody to get in where they fit in.
I believe that.
Because it's a lane for everybody. People want to hear certain real stuff. People want to hear gossip. It's a lot of people want to hear a lot of stuff.
There's a lane for everything. Yeah. So I just, between these situations, the Diddy situation and all that, it's interesting to watch it lay out, how people respond to it. It's interesting to see.
I look at the music. I look at the music, and I'm gonna say this because I feel like music is the soundtrack to all of the situations and that happen in life that we live. So if you go back to like the 60s, Motown sound is really traditional love because it's families in the house, and as the music evolves, you get to see the people evolve and the behaviors that follow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So as far as like musically, how can you say that? What's the state of the music scene right now from your vantage point?
From what I see, I think it's almost
based off the behavior.
I think it's almost similar to like what we're seeing with this content wave. Like everybody has their own space, and it's almost like it's on the consumer to find it now. I feel like it's on you to find that. People say neo soul isn't around. Oh yeah, it is. It's strong too. It's out here. We got some great artists out here. R&B, they said R&B is dead. No, you just gotta look a little bit, and there's so much content available now that I honestly think that you can have your own motion without being the top.
Nobody has to know who you are.
And literally you can get on their page and you see millions of views. You know what I'm saying? So I feel that with the music scene, honestly, I don't know what rap's gonna do. I see R&B, I see neo soul, I see even, bro, did you see that rock band, The Paradox? Those black kids that are doing like the 2005. If anyone likes rock, the rock music of 2005 back then, Fall Out Boy, Paramore, that sound. There's these little kids, The Paradox. My sons love them, and it's literally rock. And it sounds like 2005. So it's like, I think everybody in the music, I think people are tired. What I will say with the culture, I think people are tired of that murder music. Yeah. I think people are tired of the beat boop bop rap sound that just sounds reproduced, and you say the little cliche statements, and we're gonna slide on this person and all that. You know what I'm saying? And I honestly, you want to know where I really think some of that, I think it's been happening. We know there's the underground works and all of that, but I also think that Kendrick and Drake, that Kendrick and Drake moment really was a moment where, like, man, get your bars up, bro. Yeah. Get your beat selections right. Because them two boys came right.
Speak on something.
Them two boys came right, in my opinion. Even though I'm a Kendrick fan, I think Kendrick won.
I'm a music fan, bro. It's just like, and I think that was the vantage point of what the conversation was about. It was about
rap won from that, in my opinion.
I agree. I think music won from that because it's like, speak on something that's real that people can. Everybody can't speak from the vantage point of me living in the Ritz Carlton at the top floor, $1,000 stripper here.
But he forced Drake to get down and, hey, let's drop these bars. And Drake came right. I'm not about to sit up in here.
And we look at it like a year later.
Family Matters is cold. I don't care. No one's saying.
No, I like push-ups. I actually like how he, nice. I like how he initially started
push-ups
it off.
Was nice.
And I wish he would have continued to come with something of that nature, but he
misstepped a lot.
Yeah,
a lot of missteps. The slave bar was wild. That's a wild bar to say.
I just don't think he let the music speak enough. He let his antics speak for him more so than the music, and that just came all music and nothing else.
You want to know what I really think? Honestly, if you're gonna talk about that situation for real, I think what was exposed was you got a guy that region where you're from. You know what I'm saying? Kendrick is he's from California.
But before that, you got to realize his parents are from Chicago. Mm-hmm. So not only he got the Chicago Midwest swag, you got the Cali influence of the community of Compton and Dr. Dre, Eazy-E. You got to
but he was outside.
But people don't.
He's outside.
Yeah.
Drake, take it from I'm from the suburbs. I can point out a suburbanite in a heartbeat. Drake is not street. So when you got a
and
guy,
that's okay.
No, and that's okay. But when you got a guy in the conversation of beef, we talking about rap beef, and we talking about I want to, I'm blood. This is what I want, and I'm from that era. You know, 50 Cent, the Game,
we come
Nas.
from this.
You step in this room,
it's gonna get like
I want to murder you. Yeah. Like that's what it is. And you saw where, like, I just was able to see Kendrick's steps was more militant and attack, and it was strategic, and he almost decentralized them. You know, divide and conquer. It was a meticulous attack. That
what did he say? He like an evil genius that was twiddling in his finger.
I said he was like little evil genius doing this. Like K-Dot is just crazy. But what I feel like is like I don't think Drake was equipped for the street insight that Doc got. And
you want to know my issue with it when it comes to like people reviewing certain music or hip hop? It's like people not doing their own research. Like I've been listening to Doc since about 2010 and understanding every mix. Like this is what he's been speaking about, cleansing the game of hip hop and bringing back this to the forefront. This is what his initial mission was.
So do you think that it was he capitalized and
he knew exactly when to strike?
So you think you believe he sat and waited? Like, you know, it's the rumors that what they were trying to do was wait. He was waiting and plotting to attack Drake to get some clout and move up in his career. Like that was the reason why he did the attack.
I don't think he sat specifically on him to just wait, but he just looked at the state of what's going on, and obviously they was already talking shit from 2013.
Been talking shit.
You know,
Drake's been talking shit.
I watched the BET 2013 situation since I watched the inception of when he first did on there. What are we doing? I'm about the Da Vinci Code, and nothing's been the same since we dropped Control and took it. Like I was watching that live. You understand? So it's like these things have been brewing, and it was only a matter of time before, you know, a volcanic explosion happened. That's how it go. When it's like, if you gonna step up to me, this is what it gotta be, and it's all, you know, he got what he asked for. That's what I say. It's just like he asked for this. He trolled. He did everything possible you need to do this, and when it got done. In 4 business days, it's like now you want to play victim. Now you want to play victim to the situation, and you can't believe what happened. You know,
man. Real quick to segue
before you get in there, though. I'm sorry. It's the only issue I had was just like I got a little brother that's my pops stayed in Canada from 25, 30 years. I visited Canada frequently. I have a little brother that's from Canada. It's almost as if I would never let my little brother come to Detroit on the east side and act like he's from Detroit on the east side and try to play with that. Right. I have a specific connection with that. So, and I think that's the issue that anybody had with Drake. It's not that you're not good musically or we don't or any of that nature. It just don't come over here playing with certain situations that you may not understand. We understand your pops is from Memphis. We understand that your uncle is Larry Graham and he was a part of the Sly and the Family Stone and all of these things, but you didn't grow up in Memphis. So I'm not saying you ain't never go to your family reunions to do none of this, but it's like you wasn't there you ain't go to middle school in Memphis. It's right. certain precautions and certain things you don't play with. Right. Because hip hop is not just music. When you come from them environments, you are hip hop technically. Mm-hmm. Like when you from the projects, that is hip hop. You know what I'm saying? It's not separate of the people, and that's what people have to understand about the nature of our music. It comes from those struggles. You can't be if you playing with hip hop, you playing with people's real lives.
Right. No,
and we not going for that. You're not gonna plant a flag in our situation and think shit's sweet because it's not.
Right.
And
monetize the way.
Yeah, and monetize it and make the shit try to make it look like it's cool, and it's like this shit ain't cool. We trying to get away from this behavior. and you glorifying this shit, you talking about sliding on it. It's like, bro, we not playing like that. So don't. And you got to get chin checked and understand that's what it's about.
Right.
And we trying to push music forward, bro. We not going backwards.
Right. Now to segue real quick, man. I gotta.
My bad. I'm passionate about my people and where I'm from too. So people don't explain the full story. It's like we only get half truths. People that don't do research as far as the music or the artists that they looking at. I look at the artist. I want to know where you from. I want to know where your people from. My people was slapping cars down on the table, talking shit, the dominoes, doing it. Like, that's what I come from. If I listen to his story, I can hear it's the same shit.
Where he messed up though was he was trying to go street, and that's back when he was. That was after what was it? If you're reading this, it's too late. That's when he was starting to shift a little bit and start talking certain things that I was like, bro, where you going with this? No, but there was one piece, man. You got the video. If you could bring the video up, bruh, man, we was able to link with Jason Wilson. And that was, man.
Shout out to brother Jason Wilson, man.
If anyone, Jason Wilson, he inspires. He really tries to inspire the youth through karate. Mm-hmm. And one thing about that that I actually appreciate. I was a wrestler in my time. Mm-hmm. I was a state mentioned, and I was pretty good. And the thing about wrestling and combat sports, in my opinion, I think all men should have some type of martial art.
That's rites of passage.
In their repertoire, whatever we want to call.
No doubt.
And what he does is he teaches through karate how to be patient, because when you're fighting, and wrestling is a form of fighting, it's just grappling, you have to remain calm. You can't, and the number one thing why I love that sport is when you lose, it's not like when a team loses. When you lose, that boy beat you. He whooped your ass. I done told something like that. He whooped your ass, dog. And you got to eat that. You got to stand up, look that man in his eye, shake his hand, and you walk your ass off the mat. Yeah. And if you need to cry, you need to go in the locker room, because ain't nobody going to see you cry, because that means you done lost twice. And karate operates like that. Boxing operates. Martial arts operates like that, because it's me versus you.
And it's like you said, it's a great tool to regulate your emotions, because even in boxing, I grew up with two boxers for uncles as professional boxers, so understanding like that, these things are not easy to establish when you getting hit in your face. Right. Keeping your emotions regulated, and you tired.
Like you trying to
and
keep.
And there's people watching you. It's like that's a lot of psychological factors in play.
Do we have the video to show this? I gotta react to this.
And he bumped into me. I said, nigga, what you doing? Boom! I had this bump didn't warrant me to do that. It was something I hadn't released. So when you taught that you can just stay strong and continue to push through, no pain, no gain, that's not a universal principle. People in sports understand if Jared Goff towards Achilles' heel, you can't send him right back out.
I've been going through a little something, and I always give it to God. But last night I was just going through my Instagram, and I just so happened to see this, and the Lord told me just to come on out. And now that I did come, I felt like a new person. I went in that place crying, but I left out a different person. Then plus, I wrote off what I wanted to get out of my life on this balloon, and we let the balloons go, and man went straight up. So I know there is a God. I know that I'm going to be okay. And I really would like to say with this program, y'all just don't understand how I feel right now. I was messed up when I came here. I was feeling sad. The devil and all the stuff attacking me. I couldn't even find my way here on the dang on phone. But God is good. I came. I'm happy. I feel like all my problems and stuff just got released away from me. And God is so good. And thanks for Detroit Air. And I will be this email, whatever. I'm there. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, everybody. The speeches, the mental health, everything was just right on point. It seemed like they was just talking to me. It was a lot of us, but it seemed like they was just talking to me. And it really hit my heart. And just thank you so much. That's all I can do.
The 4 R's. We thought you meant we supposed to know. He said, what's the 4 R's?
One part about that one moment with her, towards the end, what we did was a therapy event, and we were talking about mental health in the community.
Where was the therapy event hosted at?
We were at it was a coffee shop.
Craig Cafe.
Craig Cafe. Shout out to Craig Cafe.
Shout out to them brothers on the east side, man, on Jefferson over there.
Yeah, we're on the east side, man. Great space over there, man. And after we had a conversation, I had my portion. I'm gonna let that go in a couple seconds, but. First off, I didn't even know Jason Wilson was gonna be there, bro. Like, I'm up there doing my thing. I see, man, my man, he's known for that great beard he got. Mm-hmm. Man, he walks up. I'm like, that Jason Wilson. I'm like, dang. So, Zeke was like, man, you gotta let him. I said, man, that guy's powerful. Yeah. But to her part, at the end of the event, everybody was given a balloon. And we almost did I believe in manifestation and speaking things into life. You know what I'm saying? So certain comments was made that, release the pain, release the trauma, let it go. And at the end, everybody let their balloon go. So that's what she was referring to about, and mine went straight up. But if you see how she was talking, that's the why. That's the why. Mm-hmm. She... and she's like, I felt like they were talking to me. You ever been to church and you felt like the guy was, he talking about everybody feeling that way in the same spot, but it's about speaking into people's lives. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And Zeke knowing to tap into that is what I'm talking about. She can be someone's mama, auntie, grandma. I don't know who is she connected to, but that's somebody in our community going back to a household with a healed moment or a healed heart, or however that impact did for her. That's somebody's mama coming back with a better mind space. That's somebody's grandmama coming back feeling better. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times in our community, we going to the liquor store. We going to smoke the weed. We going to, escape from the pain. And for us, black people set something up for other black people to come and receive healing. There's power in that, and that spreads across the community. You know what I'm saying? So like that part, I'm gonna be 100. Like when I first saw that, that did almost bring me to tears to hear people, because you want this work to touch people's lives.
And what I wanted to say, not opposite of that, but to add on to that, is like, I think, like what I said earlier, that it's a golden age. I think it's a golden age to create everything that we want to see. Mm-hmm. Just like that program. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That program was created based upon obviously a need that we felt we needed in our community. And those are the results we have when we continuously program, like you always speak about, program, and just throw events to let people know that these are the things that's cool, because we all dealing with the same issues. We all dealing with the same emotions, first and foremost. Exactly. It's like nobody has no new emotions that nobody else feels. Exactly. So it's like when we understand that, it's like we're gonna continue to create things around those issues that we all struggle with. So, and
giving spaces of healing, if we can.
How was your experience with Jason Wilson though? Because I want you to speak on that.
As he loading that up, the experience was, I'm gonna say personally, since we're on Uncut, I'll say this. It let me know that, man, I'm in my bag. Like, I'm really, and I'm not saying that in trying to be cocky or trying to be, and I'm not saying that on a money side of things, but it's just like, I've been doing this work for a long time now. I've been speaking in front of people for years now. I've been running group therapies. I've been running events, and to be up with him, and then Dr. Sabrina was there too. Shout out to Auntie. That's Auntie. She adopted me, the people's expert. But man, I was up there with some heavy hitters, man. You know what I'm saying? Like Jason Wilson.
You are a heavy hitter, though.
But
that's what you got to know.
But that's what that moment, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes, like, and I attributed that to sports. Sometimes the quarterback, he cold, but the wins it do something to you. You know what I'm saying? It, you know, like Jaden Daniels, man, going to the where he went to the NFC Championship at his age, what he was
first year.
That's a confidence builder. That lets me know when you get into the room with those guys, and there's a clip with Obama talking about that, you realize, man, they tie their shoes just like me.
Yeah,
they just, you know, this is just their lane. And it's not to say Brother Wilson is down. I'm not saying any of that, but it's just like at the age where I'm at, with the vision that I have, with what I'm trying to build between Johnny Detroit Therapy, Life on the Ridge, and Lake Ridge Human Services, is, you know, being in this content space where I didn't even want to do it. Yeah. Zeke got me, you know, and I keep
put the bug in your ear.
He put the bug in my ear. Next thing I'm wanting to do a podcast. I said, man, you know, he told me the power of social media. But when you're talking about someone that did not want to do this, I didn't want to have nothing to do with that. And then to be blessed to have an opportunity to stand up there with two heavy hitters like that, it was a good moment, man. It let me know, you know, the population was different. You know, I'm used to, you know, community mental health. You know, I'm a substance use therapist, so my community that I deal with on the day to day is different.
A certain expectation of how
I'm
you
in
would
the trenches. You know what I'm saying? I'm dealing with trench issues. And
I love to say thugged out. It's just thugged out. You know, it get like that when you dealing with those people. But you know, that demographic, I don't want to say those people as it.
Yeah, but no, we get. But it was just like, bro, it was a good moment. It was a great confidence builder. It made me feel comfortable to know, like, this work is I can do this work. Yeah, you know, and they got a couple parts that they play. There's a part on me where it goes to my little spiel talking about, you know, the suburbs and all that, man. I had a good time telling my journey a little bit, and the black men enjoying it. You see right here.
Teach you the 4 R's so you can learn how to process in real time. So a lot of people want to know how to meditate, and for brothers, we all want what? What's the one thing we want as men?
Peace.
Peace. I don't even have to say it.
Peace. That's all y'all want.
But let me tell you what peace is. Peace, listen up, men and women. Peace is not the absence of adversity, trials, or tests, or drama. It's being in the midst of those things with a calm heart.
Yes.
Lost his father.
Okay.
To drugs, and he's 5.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm sorry.
I can give you a hug, because we don't do that.
That's the start. That's the start.
Poverty and itself is traumatic. Then we do have guys that's a part of the street culture. His brother got shot and killed. He watched his brother get shot and killed. Or he's been attacked. That is scareful of someone trying to kill you. That within itself is traumatic. And what we do is we bottle it up. We may have to go to the hospital. We may sit there, hang with the homie, man, that was crazy, bro. And we move on, especially men. How many of us, brothers, can relate with that? We just press forward. When we get sad, or when we get fearful, or when we get any type of negative emotion, usually what is the emotion that we use? Anger. And we shut down. A lot of these emotions and things.
Yeah, man, it was a good moment, man. Then I had Brother Wilson. He was writing on the board, helping me stay. I gotta have a whiteboard. I'm old school. I can't. My mind. It ain't even for the participants. It's for me to stay on track. You feel me? So you know, that was a powerful moment. You heard the one young lady, she was talking about her son's father passed away to substance use. You know what I'm saying? And it was a conversation of just black pain, you know, and I think that conversation takes us to a place where it's time for black people to address black pain, but do it instead of trying to monetize it or wrap it up in a bow that looks good. And we're good at doing that. You know, the Tyler Perry movies, you know, man, I can't even watch another Tyler Perry because it just do that black trauma and all that stuff. And what I'm more saying is we are so good at talking about the event, we are so good at what the event did to me, what it did to us, but no one talks about the solution.
And moving through it.
How to live with it. What to do now. Okay, I'm sorry that happened, so what are we going to do? We're going to drink our pain away? We're going to get up online and cry online and talk about, woe is this situation? After a certain point of talking about black pain, there has to be black resilience. And you can't tell me that we don't have that in us because we've been doing it for hundreds of years. So if and then it goes to my point, why do you think there's a weed shop on every freaking corner? Why do you think there's a liquor store on every corner? Now they got these shroom spots that they're popping up to keep you what? Out of your mind. You know, and everybody gonna argue with me. I'm a substance use therapist, so I can't, you know, they're like, shrooms is, you know, there's a whole debate with that. But what my more point is, I'm tired of black people running from black pain instead of learning to live with it.
Yeah.
I'm tired of, I go and listen to Rod Wave, and I'm not dissing music either because that's the outlet to get the black pain out.
No doubt.
So I'm not attacking it. But what happens is we'll listen to the songs and I'm this and I'm that. But after, what are we doing, bro? What are we doing after you talk about this pain? Your brother got shot and killed. What are we gonna do now? You can't go and what you're gonna repeat what they did to yo, which is there goes that cycle. So to see everyday community members at the cafe and speak about, you know, and I saw that also. If you know the concept of the mastermind, you know, most people think when you say mastermind, I learned this from Tank too. Shout out to brother Tank, Lamont Howard.
Shout out my brother Tank, man.
He
The
got
Knowledge
some
Bank.
powerful stuff on the way. He's got the Knowledge Bank. Detroit Dad Club is on the way. He's got some powerful stuff coming. But what he's taught me was the mastermind is a room with individuals coming together to use all minds together to tackle a issue or plan and come together to do something, right? It's not just one guy, he's a mastermind of the operation.
And that just goes to, you know, you got a problem and you got two people on a problem, that's a problem cut in half. So, the more people you add to it, you know.
But I saw the community there to talk about an issue that black people honestly are gonna have to start tackling. There is, and mental health is a spectrum. You know, mental health, as soon as I say mental health, everybody think, you know, we get to thinking of, they think the guy that's on Woodward and John R. in Manchester with the jacket on in 90-degree weather that's talking to himself. That's what we constantly run and think that's what that is. But mental health is every time you get mad, you willing to burn the house down and everybody in it.
Yep.
Every time you get mad, you go to jail. Every time you get drunk, you putting your hands on somebody.
Yeah.
You can't get up without smoking a blunt. You can't, you know, and it's not about, you know, judging people and how they're getting by through the day, but
acknowledging the behavior. But
this is the piece though. When you have historical trauma like we do and generational trauma, you already at a baseline of stress, so to speak. You're already there. So if my lifestyle induces more stress, it puts me at a more higher, you know, more chance to blow up about it, be more upset. So that's why I speak on management. Yeah. So if I know where my company is at, let's talk business. The company is here. This is what the company needs. These are the problems that's coming the company's way. I'm going to manage those problems to achieve the goal that's at head, to keep the company moving forward. Dealing with my mental health is the same thing. Managing my mental health, knowing, okay, in this area I'm not very strong, so I need to do this to maybe upgrade myself, or being in tune with myself to be able to address certain things better. And I always say it like this too: when you work out, if you don't work out and I put you on a 315 pounds, say lift that, you're gonna be like, bro, hold on, wait a minute. But if we worked out for the past 5 years, and we've been increasing the weight, and we've been training and we've been working for when that stress moment comes, you're going to have the mental strength to be able to endure and not, like what they say, crash out. You know what I'm saying? So that was a powerful moment, man. That was a huge moment in my career. I feel like It was a great moment to get the workout, what my plans are. So I'm just excited about, what Lakers got going on with the pod and everything, and what we got going on. So
and the state of the culture, just to kind of wrap it up, is just to unravel all of these misfortunes of everything that we've seen in our communities. Everything we love to place something in front of us to say this is the reason why my life turned out to be this way.
Right.
So unraveling that victim mentality and going after whatever it is that you desire,
and then just having a healthy conversation about it, healthy outlook, man. With it, in this version, we're not going to be attacking. We're not going to be,
but we addressing it.
Oh, we're going to address it though, and I'm gonna challenge though now too though.
Addressing,
we're going to challenge it.
We're going to talk about it, but
stand on that.
It ain't about a judgment. It's just about an objective view of it. You know what I'm saying,
man? But this is exciting. We definitely, because the type of guests that we have on Life on the Ridge, we plan on having politicians, business owners, artists,
people that are for the community, that want to enhance the community,
exactly,
and that's the standard. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And it's a polished version.
Mm-hmm.
It's and they got their own images and branding and whatnot. So we just wanted to be able to have something that's a little bit more raw, uncut, a little bit more honest. You feel me? So, talk about, then there's culture, Detroit culture, because everybody love Detroit culture.
And we got one of the hottest cultures in the world, if not,
the world, Craig.
Yeah, in the world. So I'm not even gonna just say they love to talk about, when we talk about like sports teams, they love to say small market. I can't understand for the life of me how Detroit is a small market if we affected the world in the capacity. Shoot. You know what I'm saying? Everything got to touch down through these ports. So,
man, it's a wonderful time, man. So we'd like to thank you guys for joining this episode. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow all our pages, and make sure y'all tap into the next episode of Life on the Ridge.
Engage with us too, man.
Exactly. Make sure you engage, man. Let's get some comments. Let's see how you guys feel about some of the stuff that we were talking about. We're not in this to battle and argue. We're just trying to gain more understanding. So we'd like to thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of Life on the Ridge Uncut.
Yes, sir.